I was ignorant and lacked insight. I was as senseless as an animal before you. Psalm 73 verse 22. We should remember that this is the confession of the man after God's own heart, telling us his inner life, and he writes, "So foolish I was and ignorant." The word foolish here means more than it signifies in ordinary day-to-day language. David, in a former verse of the psalm, wrote, "I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked," which shows that the folly he intended had sin in it. He puts himself down as being thus foolish and adds a word which is to give intensity to it. So foolish I was. How foolish he could not say. It was a sinful folly, a folly which was not to be excused by frailty or ignorance, but to be condemned because of its perverseness and wilful ignorance. For he had been envious of the present prosperity of the ungodly, forgetful of the dreadful end awaiting all such people. Think for a moment. Are we so much better than David that we should call ourselves wise? Do we profess that we have attained perfection, or to have been so chastened that the rod has taken all her wilfulness out of us? This would be pride indeed. If David considered himself foolish, how foolish should we be in our own esteem if we could only see ourselves objectively? Dear brothers and sisters, look back. Think of your doubting God when he has been so faithful to you. Think of your foolish outcry of, "Not so, my Father," when he crossed his hands in affliction to give you the larger blessing. Think of the many times you have read his providences in the dark, misinterpreted his dispensations and groaned out, "All these things are against me," when in fact they are all working together for your good. How often have you chosen sin because of its pleasure, when indeed that pleasure was a root of bitterness to you? Surely, if we truly know our own hearts, we must plead guilty to the indictment of a sinful folly, and be conscious of the foolishness. We must make David's consequent resolve our own. "You shall guide me with your counsel." Amen.